Once upon a time, in a small village on the banks of the Ganges, lived a very curious and impatient young man. One question constantly troubled him. I work hard, but why don't I see results quickly? He asked this question of sadhus and ascetics every day and read books, but the answers never satisfied him. One day, he heard that a great saint, whose teachings were inspired by Swami Vivekananda, had arrived at a nearby monastery. The young man immediately went there. The young man folded his hands and said, "Maharaj, I want to progress. I want to become great. But why does everything in life happen so slowly? Is there no shortcut to success?" The saint smiled. He took the young man to the monastery garden. There, he showed him a small seed buried in the soil. The saint said, "Do you see this seed?" The young man replied, "Yes, but what's special about it?" The saint said, "A giant tree is hidden in this tiny seed. Hundreds of fruits, thousands of leaves, and countless shades, everything is contained within it." The young man said in surprise, "But right now it's nothing." The saint smiled and said, "That's the problem. People don't believe in what they can't see." The saint continued, "If you plant this seed today and come back tomorrow and ask why the tree hasn't grown yet, what would happen?" The young man replied, "That would be foolish." The saint looked at the young man intently and said, "But that's exactly the foolishness you commit with your life every day." The young man fell silent. The saint said, "Swami Vivekananda used to say, 'Patience, perseverance, and continuous effort. These are the true hallmarks of success.'" He explained, "The seed has to remain in the darkness. It has to bear the weight of the soil. It has to wait for the rain and the sunshine. Only then does it become a tree." The sage said, "Do you know when a seed sprouts, it has to break through the soil? It struggles, but it doesn't complain." The young man's eyes welled up. The sage continued, "He who desires fruit too quickly remains unripe. He who accepts the passage of time becomes strong." The young man asked, "So should I just wait?" The sage said firmly, "No, a seed doesn't just wait. It grows every day, whether anyone sees it or not."